Right then, hello my lovelies. Can't believe it, I've recorded part 1 of what is technically the spiritual sequel to 2003's The Truck tutorial, which is what it was called back then. Now, if you look at the truck we've got so far, all's well and dandy except for one thing. My daughter informed me that I had actually forgotten to put any of these on the side. Now, it's not especially important, well it is fucking all the same. It's actually very, very important, so let's just get that done, eh? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the polygons here of this bit and I'm just going to move it straight down here like that, and I'm just going to clone it to an object, not an element. Now the pivot is going to be absolutely all over the place at this point. I mean, it should be about there. Let's have a look here. That's nowhere near where I need it, so I'm going to effect pivot only, put it there, and could have sworn I wanted that pivot moved. Hang on a second, I'm all over the place here. Effect pivot only, center to object. Thank you. God almighty, you'd think I'd never used 3ds Max before. Right then, I do forget though. Right, I'm going to pull this bit out like that. And what I need to do is down here, if I just zoom in on it, where these 3 things are, I'm going to have to extrude these down. So what I'm going to have to do, unfortunately, is just control select, just marquee like that. What are you doing? I said marquee. Q. Right, now I'm going to shrink my selection. That way it should, in theory, just be the completely invisible. Oh, I see. It doesn't have ends, of course not. Right, okay, well this is easier than I thought then. So I'm going to select these ones and just cap them like this. Okay, so cap, cap, cap. Right, and now the outsides of these, which I can just group select, basically. Oh, I'm not selecting the right model though. See what this is? I don't know, there's no timestamp for you now. I managed to finally get rid of that. But if there was, you'd see that it's actually a lot later in the day than I did the first part. Because I had a lot of other things that I had to be doing, unfortunately. Right, now we can see that these are scaled really badly, so I'm going to fix the scaling on them right away, like that, because it looks much better with the correct scale, and that's a bit there. I'm just doing it by eye, as I always do, so, you know, get over it. Now, I'm going to move it again, so just hold shift and bring down, and then another one, just so I've got some polygons in, really. That's why I want to do that. Now, I used to do this before kind of hinge from edge was put in, so I'll just do it that way again, because sometimes it's useful to know how to do something if you haven't got a specific tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude these straight down, all 3 of them. So I'll just select by polygon and then extrude them. Okay, so it's quite a distance. There we go. Now I'll use my rotate tool and I'm just going to rotate them exactly 90 degrees. Now I'll need angle snap on for this. Okay, so it makes a bit of a mess, 90 degrees, and then I'm going to move this across to here. Okay, so you'll kind of get the idea when it looks right to you. Okay, anyway, what you can do now, because you may not have the ability, unfortunately, to, you know, be able to, what do you call it, use hinge from edge, is I can use swift loop. So I'll just pick out one of these and just grab it here, and I want to be there. So if I do that, I can see my new loop just being created there, and all I have to do is just start moving it and then manually scaling it, because unfortunately that is something you will have to do. Okay, so just manually scale the thing, and then you can basically put in your curves that way without having to, you know, use the hinge from edge tool. It's a pain, and it's not as clean and neat and useful as the hinge from edge tool, but at the same time it will do the trick, unfortunately, until better tools come out. Because I was using Modo, I believe it was Modo. Now I'm going to undo that again. Yep, I was using Modo, and I decided, well, sod it, I'm going to bite the bullet, I'm going to get around to using Modo. And clone to element. So the first tool I went hunting for was hinge from edge. And I was like, right, where's hinge from edge? Couldn't find it. I think I'd got to write a script or something to make hinge from edge work. Now, I have a great deal of respect for the guys who work on it and have developed it and all the artists that use it, but you see, I'm old, and I spent so long being old and using 3ds Max. I mean, I was young and keen back in the day, but now I'm just old. And learning new things is hard, man. I'm good at this one. So, sorry. I was like, no hinge from edge. I'm not doing that. Right, 90 degrees, and for segments in this, the more the merrier, obviously, but I'm going to put about 8 in, because that'll give us a very... Actually, no, 8's way too many. What am I doing? 6. I could probably get away with 4, actually, because this is quite low polygon. Right, that's better. God, I don't know why I was being so incredibly extravagant with polygons there. But no, get back. Right, so click tick, and I'm going to get rid of that. And these are about ready to be put in place. I think I can possibly scale them up a little bit in their entirety. So, I hate that colour, by the way. It's far too bright for me. Hang on, F10. I'm going to change my renderer, because I was just previewing it, back to scanline. There we go. And then if I go into my material browser, by pressing M, obviously, and just grab everything here and just assign it there. That's much better. Good old dull grey. See, I'm colourblind. I can't be doing this nonsense, all these colours and things. Ugh. Right. So I've scaled those up a little bit. I'm going to move them in now, just to the point where they kind of attach. Just there, you see. And now I'm going to use an FFD on these buggers. So I'll go into an FFD here and put on a 3x3x3 rather than the 2x2 I did last time. I can now grab the entire top set there, and then this set here. Now I can use rotates on them, and I can use the scale tool to flare, and here. So you can see hopefully some of the power of this. I don't know why it is, new artists always ignore this tool, and it's literally the best tool in 3ds Max for just getting the job done, you know. It's overpowered and beautiful. Right, and I'll just flare them, I think, rather than move them out. There we go, because that gives them a much prettier look, and I think I can probably give them even more flare, because they're supposed to be cartoony. Yeah, I love that. And the shapes are not too bad. I mean, they're pretty all over the place, but it's hidden, to be honest. If you had a client who was like, no, make sure they're exact, just go back and make sure they're exact. But me, I'm the client on this one, and I don't give a fuck. Right, now I'm going to mirror this, so I need to find the mirror tool. Where are you? Mirror tool, there you go. Again, I never ever use hotkeys because age. Hang on, before I mirror this, I need to copy it. There we go. I just copied it on the wrong one, didn't I? Oh my god, I'm hopeless at this. Right, so, copy, yes, on the Z, click. Right, and then I should be able to just pull that until that goes out of there. There we are. Now then, I was thinking about how this model should be assembled, and there's a couple of things I want to do. So this, and this, rather than being attached to the truck as part of its mesh, are just going to be connected to the truck, and that will make the whole process of doing the textures considerably easier. And the same goes for that and that. I'm just using the select and link tool, and that means when I move this, obviously the other pieces are going to move with it, which is a help. I'll do the same with the wheels, but I'm going to delete 9 of them soon, so it kind of seems redundant doing that. Okay, now this was going to be about unwrapping, but I'd like to do that in the next part. This was really about kind of putting these bits here on the side, just so they finish our model off and make it look killer. I could add more down the side, but it looked like the one out of Dumbo, which would be a bit silly. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I shall see you in the next part, And please don't forget to come on by our Discord and say hello, or drop by on Facebook if you really like Facebook. Or actually use the website and the forum. Christ, no one else does. Anyway, God bless my friends. See you later on.